Baik saya. Biar kat tepi Prof. Dekat tepi.
Wabarakatuh. The event is going to be starting soon, inshallah. Okay. IIUM leading the way.
Let's lead the way, lighten the future, share the wisdom to the spirit of Islam. Revelation and reason shall excel, shall prevail. Merging faith and knowledge, we the Khalifa, we will fulfill the amanah. We make the world a better place forever. Expand the culture of Iqra. Is to realize the meaning of Ramadan lil Alamin. Together we make the world a better place forever. Expand the culture of Iqra. Is to realize the meaning of mercy to all
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated. Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham Ismail, distinguished speaker for the Kuliah of Education Professorial Lecture. Associate Professor Dr. Suhaila Hussein, Dean Kuliah of Education, honorable guests, deans, directors, senior officials and staff of IIUM, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. We are gathered here at our beautiful lecture theatre 1 to celebrate the remarkable academic contributions and achievements of Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham Ismail, a distinguished scholar whose research has greatly influenced the fields of educational psychology and mental health. Today's lecture, titled The Roots of Psychological Conflicts in Education, Attitudes and Multicultural Experiences for Citizens' Well-being, promises to offer deep insights and spark meaningful discussions on mental health and well-being within our diverse educational landscape. InsyaAllah, to bless our event this morning, I respectfully invite Brother Muhammad Baihaqi bin Muhammad Yusnan to lead us in the recitation of the dua. فَلْيَتَفَضَّلْ مَأْجُورًا.
الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. All praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds. We thank you, O Allah, for gathering us on this blessed day in this honorable assembly to celebrate knowledge, wisdom and scholarly pursuit through the professorial lecture by Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham bin Ismail. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, grant us hearts that are sincere in seeking knowledge, minds that are enlightened with understanding and tongues that speak truth and wisdom. Bestow your barakah upon this event. May it be filled with inspiration, reflection and benefit for all who are present. Bless our distinguished professor with continued strength, insight and guidance, so that his knowledge may serve the ummah and contribute to the betterment of society. O Allah, make this lecture a means of sharing beneficial knowledge and a reminder of the noble duty of scholars to guide with wisdom, to teach with humility, and to serve with integrity. Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum birahmatika nastaghith. أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amin, amin, ya Rabbal Alamin. Next, I would like to call upon Associate Professor Dr. Suhaila Hussein, Dean Kuliah of Education, to deliver her welcoming remarks. Please welcome.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected Datuk, Deans, Directors, Professors, Lecturers and beloved students. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah, it's truly a pleasure to gather this morning for our professorial lecture, where we celebrate not only academic excellence, but also the spirit of learning that connects us all as educators and seekers of truth. Before I proceed, I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee for their thoughtful planning and dedication in making this event possible. You won't miss them with the same baju batik. Sponsored, I think. Okay. Your efforts actually truly reflect the collaborative spirit that defines our kuliah. Now, the professorial lecture today indicates our recognition for Prof. Dr. Ahmad Hisham's contributions, whose lifelong dedication to education continues to inspire us. And I have to mention this because Prof. Faris, although he's not here today, has mentioned that this professor lecture is going to be one of the activities in conjunction of the Academia Month for our university, Prof. So coincidentally, this October month is actually very meaningful because one, we've got the Academia Month and we've got the Counselling Month. Mental health, okay? So Academia Month actually reminds us that innovation and technology must be harnessed responsibly in ways that enhance, not replace human intellect and values. Meanwhile, this year's Counselling Month theme called attention to the evolving realities that we have to face today in an increasingly complex world. So both themes intersect meaningfully with today's lecture. Prof. Nick's lecture urges us to look deeper beyond the surface of technology and progress to understand the psychological foundations of education and the inner conflicts learners experience in navigating diversity, modernity, and moral choice. By centering on citizens' well-being, Prof. Nick reinforces our mission to nurture balanced individuals physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, who can contribute to the harmony of society and the excellence of the Ummah, inshallah. So on behalf of the kuliah, I extend our heartfelt congratulations and deepest appreciation to Prof. Dr. Ahmad Hisham. May Allah bless him with continued success and may his work continue to inspire us all to pursue knowledge that enlightens our mind and hearts. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suhaila, for the warm welcoming speech. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the lecture, let us take a moment to get to know more about our distinguished speaker. Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham began his journey with IIUM in 1990. He holds degrees from the California State University and the University of Southern California and earned his PhD in education from the Institute of Education, University College London, which is one of the world's leading centers for educational research. Throughout his distinguished career at IIUM, Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham has served in numerous key roles, including Director for Institute of Education, Dean of the Kuliah of Education, Associate Director of the Center for Teaching and Learning, and Chairman of IIUM Educare and IIUM Montessori. His leadership extended beyond the university, as well as having chaired both the Congress of Asia Pacific Education Universities and National Education Congress under the Majlis Profesor Negara. A prolific scholar, Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham has completed more than 60 funded research projects and authored or co-authored over 70 scholarly publications. Ladies and gentlemen, you will now be shown a video montage highlighting the key milestones, academic journey, and contributions of Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham to the field of educational psychology and mental health. All right, and now, the moment that we've all been waiting for. It is my great honor to invite Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham bin Ismail to deliver his professorial lecture on the roots of psychological conflicts in education, attitudes and multicultural experiences for citizens' well-being. Please welcome.
Assalamualaikum. I guess the familiar faces. I have my mentor here from Datuk Syed Arabi here. So, and also my good colleague in research, Prof. Tengku Moha. Yeah, so thank you for coming. The rest of you, of course, you're my friends and my colleagues. Special welcome as well. So let me just go to the lecture without wasting the time, because we only have like 1 hour to 1 hour and a half before Jummah prayer, unless there is a fatwa. Or is it not moving? Okay. Okay. I might cut short on some of the slides, depends on the time, especially on the theoretical framework, the variables. I think we are very much into the findings. Yeah, so we want to see the findings, and then I would like to see a lot more, maybe some discussions on the findings, because this is my findings. So maybe you will take it, or you will, meaning that I can sell it, or you will buy it, or you will resent. Have a professorial lecture. So your task is actually to challenge me. So I'm not challenging you guys, but you should challenge me. So with good questions. All right. Datuk Sri betul eh? So bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So this is my statement of problem. So education is the function not only as a medium for knowledge acquisition, but also as critical site where cultural identities, values, and worldviews interact. In Malaysia, which is rich multicultural composition, education serves as spaces for opportunities, mutual understanding, and social cohesion. However, it also presents challenges in navigating cultural differences, value systems, and identity formation amongst its citizens. For the Malays, education is particularly significant as it is closely tied to Islamic values, communal solidarity, politeness, and respect for tradition. However, when education is not adequately responsive to these psycho-religious cultural traits, it risks fostering division, misunderstanding, and weaken social cohesion among ethnic groups. So the problem, therefore, lies in balancing the dual role of education, ensuring academic excellence while simultaneously cultivating intercultural understanding and social harmony in Malaysia's plural society. That's why the well-being of citizens come in. And it is so important because we are is such a unique society. Very rarely can find a society like us, multicultural society, that is perceived. I use perception here. Perception because it's not yet up to the conceptualization and not enough evidence to say that we are in harmony. So we are perceived to be in harmony, yeah? Perceived by others. For example, if I'm going to ask, you're going to ask about me, who I am. So I cannot say who I am because that is not the truth. The truth will be, what about others saying about you? Yeah? Perception of others on you. So the same thing goes here. But yet, not enough evidences, so that is not the reality. Yeah? Still in doubt. Still, there are some questions to be asked, whether are we really in harmony? Yeah? So are we really in harmony? So that is one thing that got into my mind when I review my work and in the collaboration, not just single, but also collaboration with others. Yeah. So this one, I'm not going to give a tazkirah. So this is just to show the importance of knowing, ta'aruf, yeah? To know each other. I think PMX is better on, elaborating on this particular ayah. In this ayah, it says, "O mankind, indeed, we created you from a male and a female, and made you into nations and tribes, so that you may know one another. Indeed, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is the most righteous. Surely Allah is all-knowing and all-aware." So this is another aspect, knowing, to know each other. Yeah, is also important. That is, when we talk about knowing in terms of the philosophy of psychology, there is one particular person talking about the 4 stages of knowing, and this is intuition. Yeah? This is intuitive. So again here, of course, the last one, I will not go into details because this will lead to another lecture. So the 4 stages, and the last one, of course, the scientific. Scientific is actually to gather evidences. To gather evidences. Just by saying it's not good enough. Or there is another one, by authority, knowing the truth by authority, actually coming from by reading some authoritative or something that is being authored, something that is, for example, in Islam, the most mutlaq in knowledge is actually coming from God. So again here we have that is undeniable. So we cannot say there are things in the Quran or in the Hadith that people can argue, because that is the coming from the authority. So again, there are few stages in understanding about knowing. Yeah. So this is one of them. So again, this is the ayah that can look at this particular element of well-being of a citizen. Now, just for my own precaution, as a researcher, we are very cautious. We are very aware of the, what will be the perception of others. So we set our limit, we set our parameter, so that you might not argue beyond that parameter. Yeah. So this is my parameter as a researcher. Yeah. So if you go outside the boundary of the parameter, it's not my responsibility to answer it. So Liana know about it. So again here, parameter number 1 is a very conservative perspective. Why conservative? Yeah. I only, in my work for today's lecture, I only refer to my own writing and also the collaboration of others in the articles or chapter of the books. So in reference to that is a very conservative. So the references, citations actually coming from my own work. Yeah. So none others. So that is parameter number 1. Yeah. So that is conservative perspective. So these are the sample. I would like to thank Datuk Sri is here. He is part of the work that I'm done, and also Prof Tengku Moha, Yeah. So, and then few others in of my colleagues in the collaboration of writing the articles. So you can see like 2005 Malaysian Youth Needs. I remember that was right. So again, this is the one. So we went around chasing, and then we learned something new. There is an element called TLDM. So one of the youth actually were asked, "What do you do?" So he said, "I'm a TLDM." Yeah, so we thought he's in the army, Tentera Laut Diraja Malaysia. But no, he is tidur, lepak dan makan. So that's the term that I have learned in research. In this particular research is so interesting. So what he's doing is he's an army of tidur, lepak and makan. So TLDM. So that is the abbreviation given coming from youth. I don't know how to translate. Tidur, sleep. Lepak is, yeah, loitering. Yes. Oh, okay. And eating. Yeah. So again, those are the terms. So again, here, if you look at the things that I have referred to, these are actually articles and references of my, not only my single work, but also in collaboration with others. So again, here, this is what I meant by, oh, okay. So there are two slides here. Yeah. Now, the second parameter, this is important because many of the participants, and including me as a researcher, I'm a Malay, Muslim, Kedah born Kelantanis. So again here, so if people ask me, I am a Kelantanis, I'm not Kedahan. Sorry, Dr. Siti. I'm only born in Kedah, but the heritage is actually Kelantanis heritage. Datuk Seri, Datuk Pertengku. So the food actually Kelantan punya food. So but I'm fortunately born in Kedah. Yeah. So again here, this is another parameter. So again here, the perspective coming from the very traditional again and conservative point of view. Yeah. Many of my participants, I was recruited under Dr. Arabi, and many of the participants actually he sent me to the Kelantan area, Terengganu area. So and then these are the participants in the research that I've conducted together with Dr. Sri. The third parameter is it is in the social sciences framework. It's not it's under social psychology and it's under principles of education. And this is not hard sciences. So again here, we are looking only at approximation and broader insights. It's not about conciseness. Yeah. Yeah. So again here, I'm giving you this slide here to show the differences between the two. Yeah. The hard sciences and the social sciences. So I'm not looking for conciseness and precisions, but I'm looking more on the approximation and estimation. You know, so again, here the data that I've got that I'll be sharing with you is more of the social sciences parameter. Yeah. So don't ask me like what exactly is the percentage. We are not going to tell you that, because what we have is only approximation and also estimation. It's not precisely like in the hard sciences, they will say 96, sometimes up to the 0.8%. Yeah, so we don't do that in the discussion here. So it's not really precise. So I won't go into it in details because I think you guys might know it. Now, there are a few variables here in this study. The independent variables, I hope I have my students here. Maybe I can ask question, what are the independent variables in my topic? And also the dependent variable, yeah? So if you look at the topic, of course, the outcome, well-being. well-being of a citizen. Yeah, so that is the outcome. So that is the dependent variable. Yeah, so there are many theories. The one that I'm interested in is actually the hedonistic and so idiomonic. Yeah, and of course comes to the other one is need goal satisfaction theory. So these are the three theories that I will be using in understanding my data. Yeah, in understanding my data. So I won't go into this because I know some of you are actually from psychology. So if you are not in psychology, please attend my psychology classes. Then we can go, and also maybe Dr. Lihana here. We can go through the theories clearly. Yeah. So, but we're not going to. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time here. So again, here it's about hedonistic. It's about hedonic. Yeah. It's about happiness and emotional balance. Eudaimonic is about meaning, authenticity, and virtue. And also, of course, I go into need goal satisfaction theories and the goal alignment and achievement. So these are the three theories that I'll be using for the discussion under that outcome. Yeah, the outcome. But this will be integrated in two important aspects that is known. I won't go into this. This is still the same. Under the categories of psychological well-being and mental well-being. So the two branches coming out, yeah, from my well-being discussion will specifically look at what is psychological well-being and what is mental well-being, as mentioned by Dr. Aisha just now, and also the Dr. Suhaila. Today is World Mental Health Day. Yeah? So again here, so I think we in celebration with that. So I guess it's coincidence for me to talk about this particular aspect of well-being. So we just look at the focus and also the purpose. Yeah, and the rest is just part of the dimension. Yeah. So if you look at the three, if you look at the two theories, there are three dimensions. So these three will be covered in the discussion. So what is the focus of psychological well-being? You're looking at flourishing, positive functioning, and growth. While in mental well-being, we're looking at balanced state, absence of distress, and ability to function. And the purpose of this psychological well-being is to have a strong purpose in life and pursue of goals. And then for the mental well-being, feeling life is manageable and purposeful direction. So enough with the outcome, the dependent variable. So we are dissecting but not in depth, because I don't want to do that, because we are more interested in the findings. Yeah. All right. Now the second one is the conflict, psychological conflict. This is another variable within my discussion in the topic. What is conflict all about? So look at Freud under psychoanalytic. So here comes the aspect that I'll be sharing in depth, especially when it comes to instinct. Yeah, when it comes to instinct. So for me is to look at the instinctual characters of the Malay and how this will lead into their psychological and mental well-being, and how this will affect their aspirations and also what they want in education in comparison to the other races in Malaysia. So Freud is number one. So the theory that I'll be using, and of course the other one will be Neo-Freudian. Now, to tell you the truth, I came from Freudian school of thought. So that's why I'm quite familiar with Freud theory. So UCL is well known of the Center for Freudian Psychology, So I'm there. I mean, so I don't know what to say. So so he's here. So again here. So it will be quite familiar for me when it comes to the Freudian theory. So again, that's why the theory that I'll be testing here is instinct, under conflict. Yeah. So all right. So not going to look into that. This is just to show you how many they are talking about psychological conflict, just looking at the theories. Yeah. Now this is the diagram about instinct. So we have instinct, we have ego, and then we have lagnia, and then we have eros, and we have thanatos. And then this instinct will be expressed, it will be blocked, and it will go through some transformation. Ego is ego instinct. For example, to say that I'm a Malay, just as an example, I'm a Malay, I'm a Kedah born Kelantanis, yeah, and I'm a Muslim. That is your ego instinct. So that is how you express. When it is blocked, yeah, if you look at some of the YouTubes, some people will be sharing their YouTubes or their, what is the other one? YouTube and TikTok. Yeah? So they will say that I have a mix of Philippines, Javanese, the British. Nothing mentioned about Malays. But if you look at the way they talk, they are Malay. The slang that they use. But they are not proud. So not being proud of who you are is that process of blocking. Your ego has been blocked. Yeah, right? So that is one. So we look at how do you express, how it is being blocked, and transform, how it is being transformed. So now I can say, maybe in the beginning I'll say, I came from a very poor family, but now transform, I have a job, yeah, I have a wife, I have children. So again, telling others about your identity that is part of ego. Now I'll give you another one, like Naya. This is lust. Yeah? That's lust instinct or sexual instinct. So the importance of ego instinct is for self-preservation, how you preserve yourself, your identity. Yeah. For like Naya is for the species preservation. How do you make sure that your species will be there, will not be, yes, yeah. So what is that instinct that will come to your mind? Marriage is like Naya. And then we have how it is being blocked. Sometimes through divorce, or sometimes when you say, I'm not going to get married. That is you denying your instinct. Yeah. Transform when you have, you have marriage, you have family, and some aspect, some elements of polygamy is part of the transformation. Yeah. So again here, don't blame, don't make, don't curse those people who practice polygamy. This is part of the instinct, and this is good. It's a transformation. Yeah. Now I won't go into it in details again. Now, how do I compare it? Because I'm from UIA, because we go with the principles of Islamization. So I want to see whether these are actually discussed by Muslim scholars. Yeah. And of course, in the work, in the some of the articles have talked about this, and then now we can see later how this actually relate very much today. The new legacy of URA looking at Tawhidic epistemology. But I'm very much happy with Tawhidic paradigm, yeah, not epistemology, because I'm not that good. I'm not that in depth in terms of knowing about that part of knowledge. Yeah, epistemology is really in depth. I remember when we had the first professorial lecture by Almarhum Prof. It was a long time ago. This was during the time of Almarhum Dr. Marzuki. He used mental health, the Tawhidic paradigm of mental health. Yeah? So that was his lecture. Yeah? So I still remember that. I couldn't find the booklet, what is about this mental health. Now, if you look at ego instinct here from Freud and the Islamic parallel to it, we have Al-Ghazali talk about nerves, yeah, enemy within that must be disciplined. And then Ibn Taymiyyah, nerves, craves for pride, desire, needs, and restraint. And then we look at sexual instinct, libido, or latnia, lust. Yeah. So again, parallel to shahwa, this is also lust, necessary for life, halal if restrained. This is under Al-Ghazali. And Ibn Taymiyyah, marriage protects, excess enslaves. And then we look at eros, life instinct, fitra, hips and nerves. And then look at Al-Ghazali looking at this, just like Maslow, yeah, hunger, safety, companionship as balanced needs. And then Ibn Taymiyyah look at instincts as mercy become worship if aligned with Sharia. And then death instinct or thanatos, despair. I don't know how to pronounce this is in Arabic. Ghadab. Is that right? Ghadab. Ghadab. Okay. Yeah. And then we have Al-Ghazali talk about anger best within despair, spiritual death. And then Ibn Taymiyyah talk about despair is from shaitan. Aggression must be redirected to courage. So again, there are things that actually discussed by Muslim scholars, quite parallel to the instinctual instincts discussed by Freud. Yeah. Now, and then go to the multicultural. Again, just to look at the acculturation theory and then social identity theory. So this is the two theories that I'll be looking in the multicultural. Yeah. Now, so what are the indicators of multicultural experiences? This is in the topic. Yeah. If we look at the cognitive indicators, thinking about diversity. Yeah. So you look at the psychological description, reflects how individuals perceive, interpret, and evaluate cultural differences, involves intellectual curiosity, understanding others' traditions, and challenging ethnocentric biases. Yeah. And then the other one is expected outcome in multicultural context. For example, in Malaysia, this is coming from the work. Yeah, the one that at the end is actually from the articles written. Enhances intercultural understanding, reduces prejudices, fosters cognitive flexibility toward diverse ethnic and religious groups. So again, here there are indicators. I think at the end, maybe if you want the script, the total script, maybe the committee can provide that one. Yeah? So, but because it's quite thick, yeah. All right. Okay, now number 4, well-being and adaptation indicators. This is outcome of diversity, encourages adaptation, inner balance, and overall well-being within Malaysian multicultural society. This is coming from the articles. Yeah. Now attitudes, Not so much under the theories, but what I'm looking at, because basically what I based upon is this one, the items in the when I generate items for the questionnaires, not just me, well, the team, and also Almarhum Prof Sahari together, and when we generate the items, we are looking at this. They refer to me because I'm in psychology, that's all. But the items are actually coming from all the members. And then, and also in the interview protocol. So you can see the differences even in attitude. This is what sometimes I'm angry with my own students. Yeah. So they thought attitude is only one way. There are many. There are many items. The spectrum of attitudes range from the lowest to the highest. Yeah. So some actually basically on perception, what you perceived. Some based on evidences that it can become concept. That is the highest. Yeah? So when we talk about, for example, judgment, this is already perception towards conception. Yeah? So when somebody say he make a judgment on certain issue, yeah. So when I say I believe that I am a Muslim, yeah. So don't use belief. Must be something else. Must be evidences. This is interesting in my study, in our study, the differences of thinking. You know, you can see the differences, different society. I have one story to share with you here, how different it is. So in my study with the Balkan students, this is my earlier study. This is in 2002, 2003. So few Balkan ladies came and say, "Sir, why is it the Malays wearing the hijab?" So when we asked them why they wear hijab, they said, because we are asked to wear hijab by the university. We are forced to wear hijab. Because they were telling me, like, when they go out from the gate, yeah, the hijab will be off. And then I met few anybody from Kuliah of Law, the lawyers, friends of my wife. She's a lawyer. So we were like, talking, and then they said they were wearing skirt. All this uniform, the lawyer's uniform, black skirt and black blouse. And then I asked my wife where they're from, because they speak good Arabic. They can speak Arabic. They use this Arabic term that I don't really use when I came in UIA. Yeah, I got confused. I remember one time I was talking to Awang Sarian, Prof. Awang Sarian. Now I don't know, he's a senator or something. Yeah. So I was confused. I was like, Ana enter. Because at that time in 1990s in the UIA, they talk Arabic. Ana enter, antum, And then I was talking to him and I said, Anta going to toilet. Anta? No, I'm how bad my Arabic is, so that is my proposal as well in this lecture. So these are very confusing time. But anyway, back to this. So they say, why is it that way? The Balkan students. I said, I don't know. So what do you think? They said, because before we do it, we have to know why we have to do it. So I put that, because through my readings in psychology, that is called inquiry mind. Inquiry mind. So very inquisitive. They want to know before they are being forced to do it. That's why they rebel. When the university say you have to put on hijab. So they put on hijab with different style. That's why the Malay later learn how to have different hijab. The hijab is no longer like straight hijab, you know, like that time when the Malay wearing hijab is like, you know, we call it hijab makcik-makcik pas. You know, the straight, straight and, you know, like a block, you see? Huh? That is a UIA at that time. So, but with this Balkan, they bring new style. You know, the hijab can be, you know, can be pusing, you know, can you can put lilit leher, lilit badan, you know, whatever. So, so these are the things that they have learned, but then they want to know why, you know. So this is something different. It's the same like in attitudes, the differences, the level of attitude. So again here, when you create attitudes items, we have to know from where and how you create your items. So that is important. So in our study, basically on perceptions. So I can go with belief. Yeah? I can go with belief. Yeah? I can go with a bit of opinion. Yeah? But not value, no judgment, yeah? No ideology. So you cannot create that kind of items if you don't really know the participants. So this is important. So again here, when we create items for the well-being, so coming back to attitude, this is what we are seeing. Yeah. Now, here come the discussion. So this is the discussion. This is after I have to read again all the articles. I know Dr. Wira telling me, she was telling me I can do the, put in the chat GPT, but I said I don't have the everything online, you know, because my publication was like 2003. I think the online thing only came in 2015, I think. So, yeah. So she said, I can categorize this, put all there, and then let GPT guide you how to analyze. Anyway, but I put one item at the end that you will see that somehow to show that I'm aware what is going on with the events or with the things going on today. So this is the findings. Huh? So again here, these are the aspirations and expectations from 1970 to 2025. So including my work and also my readings, and look at the 70s economic, we know about the NEP, and then we know about the UMNO, the ups and down of UMNO. So again here, and the contemporary trend, 2010, this is based on the articles, yeah. Calls for needs-based affirmative action, entrepreneurship training, and equitable wealth and distribution. And then swift toward competitive Malay politics, rise of multi-ethnic coalition, youth demand merit-based government. This is already voiced up by youth in our study, youth in 2005. It's a long time ago, but it's there. The evidence is there. But when you do this reading, then you can see, oh, we have contributed actually, that was really something, but now only we talk about it. But this is in the findings. So again here, but we don't mention this to UMNO last time, that's why. That's why one of the aspects that they missed and they lost their election. So again, and then the aspect of cultural preservation of the Malay language heritage, this has been there, the key aspirations and aspiration. But you look at the work that we have done, reassertion of Malay Islamic culture pride amid globalization, tension between inclusivity and exclusivity. So again here, this is also highlighted, coming in from the study that we have done. Religious integration of Islam into state and society, promoting Islamicization of government, of governance, education and law. So what is it that we found? Growth of Islamic revivalism and moral governance discourse, emphasis on rahmatan lil alamin, Islam as mercy for all. Yeah? Then we go education, access to higher education, upliftment through human capital development, and then look at the contemporary trends within the papers that we have written, calls for education equality of a quota, global competitiveness, and curriculum reform. So this has been voiced up again since 2005. If we look at the work in 2003, even youth at that time asking for education reform. But we have not entertained. we put aside some of this aspect. I don't know. Are we still talking about education reform today? No, we don't. I guess many other researchers doing, then they have the same findings. They got the same findings. Yeah? They have the same findings, but unfortunately, it has been ignored. National identity, balancing Malayness with Malaysian unity, negotiating between Ketuanan Melayu and Bangsa Malaysia. The other aspect that I don't include here is concept Melayu Baru. This one actually came in the early 90s, and it was actually written in my thesis on the Melayu Baru. And then in the research, I think not so many people talk about it, but maybe we a bit confused with the Ketuanan Melayu. So the contemporary trend, renewed interest in shared identity building, emphasizing inclusivity and civic nationalism, social psychology. Okay, now the last one. This is the one, the Masyarakat Madani. This is the one that I have included, the latest one. Aspiration for balanced progress, economic, moral, spiritual, and national unity. So again here, look at the focus. This is not from the work that we have done. This is actually what is it in the other works done by others. Focus on equity, integrity, inclusivity, and Islamic ethical modernization. So if we look at these aspirations, you look at these expectations, what is the most glaring items for Malaysians, especially Malays? Something that right away you say, oh, this is what we really are. Islam and religion. Islam. It has been, the findings have shown the importance of Islam. So I guess for those who want to survive politically, Islam is the one. Yeah? Yeah? That element has been discussed, voiced up. Yeah? I think these are the things that we have to be concerned with. Yeah. So so again here, so this is how I go into the methodology. How do it's supposed to come before, but you know my son Milo, hopefully he's online. He switched the the methodology after this. Supposed to be methodology first and then the item. And you ask me to do it, I don't know how to do it. So so that's why I stick with Milo's work. So this is Milo's work, my son's. Yeah. So look at the analytic logic first. This is how I go into processing the data. So you have the corpus is actually the data coming from the works from 2003 to 2025. So a collection of that related to the topic of Malay and well-being. Yeah. So literature review on a corpus, comprehensive database. Thematic, we analyze using themes. And then Islamic psychological triangulation. Meta-synthesis approach. This one, I need to get actually an expert validation, but I considered myself as expert, so I think it's good enough, 50%. It's not yet, it's not complete. Maybe I have to sit down with my colleagues, especially Dato Sri, maybe we can look and ask his opinion whether this is valid or not. So again here, framework of integration mapping to Ismail. You know, my son type, I said, put Nahi. He said, no, doesn't look nice. Put your father's name. Ismail's educational model. And then this is cultural grounding for the 9 pillars and reflexive validation and poor textual validation. And again, and cultural theoretical framework. Now this is important. Remember, we talk about characters. From my analysis, there are 7 instinctual traits of the Malays that we got from this analysis. 7. Number 1, strong religious orientation, Islamic values. So this is our naluri. In Malay, instinct is naluri. This is our naluri. We are strong. Religiously, we are strong. Not just today, but this is the work from 2003. So this is what we want. Yeah? Tell us how, guide us how to show this. How to go along with this. So these are the work from the work, supporting references. They are, you can see all Ismail Nahi. Explanation, Malays' religious orientation shapes their personality, moral responsibility, overall well-being through internalization of Islamic value. So when you talk about Malaysian citizens' well-being, especially for the Malays, this is character number 1. This is character number 1. Character number 2, collectivism and communal solidarity. This is another character. Malay emphasize family cohesion, community interdependence, and collaborative social practices grounded in kinship and shared values. Again, the evidence is coming from our work. Yeah. So this is another aspect we tend to forget. We are thinking like people now going for this gerontology. The government say, can you suggest something that we can help with this with the older people in the future? So they say, why don't we have more of orang tutu house? This is not for the Malays. Malays, when they're old, they want to be with their family. Cannot. So you are going to destroy Thanatos. There is Thanatos. You're going to destroy their instinct. I think the government should listen. Yes, you can have your rumah orang tua, what they call it, old folks, old folks house. They want to do it just like in Singapore, just like in the West. This is not for us. Yeah, I remember Al-Bukhari long time ago. They did once, but they don't have the budget. So they will take this orang tua because they will be left alone in the houses because the son and the children go to work. They will take these people, go to Al-Bukhari for daytime. So they will teach the Quran, they will do some exercises within the Al-Bukhari campus. but there's no support coming in. Of course, you cannot, even though you're rich, you know, Sheikh Bukhari, I mean, said Al-Bukhari is very rich, but I don't think he can manage to do it for free. I think there should be a support coming in to allow this kind of daytime, daycare center for orang tua should be there. I think myself also, when I'm old, I want to be like that. So I want to be in the daycare center, that not the whole day, not the whole year staying in the center, but maybe daytime only when the children are not around. Yes. So these are the kind of centers actually we should be thinking of. I think UIA should provide one for the community in Gombak. So this is for the Sidik Baba Community Engagement Research Grant. So this is what we are waiting to see, the proposal, but none coming. So if you propose some kind of daycare center within the UIA compound, you know, where you take all these orang tua around Gombak, yeah. Prof Tengku orang tua belum lagi ya. take you in. I'm orang tua already. Yeah. So daytime we stay here with the Datuk Seri Syed Arabi, you know, we go play tennis, you know, swimming, activities, daytime. So, and then after that we go home with our children at night. So these are things that you should be thinking of. Not me, I want to work in research, but I don't want to lead. No more for me. Enough, enough. It's a lot of work. So there is collectivism and communal solidarity. So that is trait number 2. Trait number 3. Yeah. What is our instinct telling us? Politeness and social harmony. Budi bahasa. Malays value on cautious behavior, emotional restraint, social harmony, moral and cultural ideals that regulate interpersonal relation. Yeah. So we don't see this quite often today, especially in schools. When you talk about Budi Bahasa in school, all gone. Hangus. Yeah, all gone. Because what? We bring in the Western. But if you look, when they become parents, they want this. Because most of them, those who participate, they're all elders or adults. They want all this, but their children, influenced by other characters. Yeah, last time when you want to move in front of your teacher, you bend a bit and put your right hand down and walk slowly in front of your teacher. That's how school was during my time. Very polite. Very polite. And you say Assalamualaikum when you pass by. I remember this is the culture of UIA as well in 1990s. When I came in, I was shocked. I said, am I in the madrasah? You know, when lecturers meet lecturers, they will say, Assalamualaikum ya akhi. Yeah. And then they will ask questions like, I don't understand. It's all in Arabic. I said, taib, taib, taib. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. So that kind of culture that we missed. Yeah. And then we have sometimes the senior one will give tazkirah, will have usra. You know, very formal, very informal. They say, oh, Nick, would you like to come on Saturday? We have makan-makan, you know, for the young one, the young Turks, they call it, who just came back from the West. And then they have this small usra. But of course, they provide food. Of course, that's why we went. Yeah. So, but we actually, at least we attended usra. We attended usra. I don't see that culture anymore. That Budi Bahasa no longer there. Yeah. You see students now move in front of you, don't even say salam. Yeah, they say sometimes they say things about your colleagues, mengata, about your colleagues. You wanted to say something, you guys, but you don't have the heart. Yeah, you don't have the heart to listen to that. Respect for hierarchy and authority. It's not feudalism. No, this is not about feudalism, but we respect. This is still happening in Japan. This culture, hierarchy and authority. So difference to authority figures, teachers, elders, leaders is central to Malay socialization, reflecting both Islamic and traditional norms. Next one is the adaptive coexistence in multicultural contexts. Malays maintain their cultural identity while demonstrating flexibility and cooperation in Malay's pluralistic environment. This one I want to share one of the items that I've got doing research with my own students actually. Now they became lecturers in different institutions all over the world. So we did this study of the 4 cities, Muslim in the 4 cities. We did Lagos, London, Kuala Lumpur, and also the other one is actually in, I can't remember. The article was published by, yes, yeah. What is it? I can't remember your channel as well. Prof. Tengku. Intellectual discourse. MashaAllah. I'm getting old. So from these four cities, we, the Malays, have shown that we are easy to adapt. Our adaptability, our flexibility is very high compared to in Istanbul. Yeah, the other one is in Istanbul, the city of Istanbul. But the rest, not that high. Yeah, I think it's very interesting findings. Now, we honor shame and orientation. Marwah, Malay social behavior is guided by Marwah, a sense of personal and collective honor, accountability, and moral concept, self-concept. Yeah? Marwah is important for us. Yeah? This is one of the things that is unique in all the societies in the world. This aspect of Marwah is only within the Malay society. Yeah? Not that I'm saying they don't have Marwah, no. But this is emphasis or emphasized because this is part of our instinct, part of our naluri, and emphasis on tradition and adat as well. Malay cultural identity integrates traditional customs, adat, religious obligations, and moral education in sustaining social cohesion. So from the study, from the analysis, the big finding is 7 instinctual traits of ethnic Malay. So you can make use of this to do research, either qualitative or quantitative. But of course, your references will be all the our work lah. Yeah. So we can start looking at this, coming up with the research project. Yeah, I mean, they're still there. How strong it is. So again, this is one finding, one important finding in the analysis. Now, here I give you some examples. We're not going to talk about it in details because the time is 10:24. Yeah, I have half an hour. I'll finish at 11. Strong religious orientation. How do we express? Provide meaning, resilience, moral compass, coping strategies like prayer and tawakkul. Block, when it will be blocked, can lead to guilt or fatalism. if misinterpreted, like overemphasis on qada and positivity, and passivity, sorry. Qada and qadar is good, but it can be blocked. So again here, overemphasis on that. Transform spiritual growth when faith is balanced with agency and promote psychological resilience. I will give one more. Politeness and social harmony, Budi Bahasa, enhances positive relationships, reduce overt conflict, preserves dignity, can be blocked, may block honest expression, tak jujur, tak ikhlas, leading to suppressed emotions and hidden conflict. Do it because you have to do it, because you need to be seen that you're doing it. This is dangerous. This is Budi Bahasa. When coupled with assertiveness training, polite yet authentic communication, healthier well-being. So again here, last one, talk about Marwah. Encourages moral behavior, social responsibility, reputation care. It can be blocked. It can cause stress, avoidance, fear of failure, and stigma, especially in mental health. It can be transformed by reframing honor, not only external reputation, but internal dignity, promotes authenticity and self-worth. Okay. How do we compare with the other races? But I did not do in-depth analysis on their instinctual traits. But I'm comparing, putting the Malay instinctual traits as the framework and see whether the Chinese and the Indians are sharing the same thing. So this is also important. Religious orientation may clash with secular business-oriented pragmatism among Chinese community. We look, because in the interview we have also Chinese and we have also Indian groups, focus group, and so we have in my studies for students as well. For the Indian, may clash with Hindu or Christian religious practices, rituals, festivals, and dietary laws. Potential, what will be the potential harmonies? Shared spirituality across tradition can promote respect, interfaith dialogue, and moral solidarity. Now go to Budi Bahasa. For the Chinese, may clash with more direct communication style in Chinese business culture. For the Indians in community, often value expressive debate and rhetoric, may clash with Malay preference for soft speech, avoidance of confrontation. Betul kan? When you talk to the Indian, you experience as well. Okay, I'm not being biased here. This is the things that we do have. When the Malay talk to the Indians, we'll be overwhelmed. So these are the things that define. Harmony seeking can be a bridge to reduce tension when others value directness, because they are very bold. They talk very bold, but the Malay, they preserve. That's the problem. So we don't talk like that. Then it become a conflict. So if we can get into this middle way, that we can communicate better. All right. Okay, I won't, because it's actually it's quite a lot. Now, I won't go into this. Let's go to, because time is envy of us. Now, the other finding that I got, now we got the 7 traits. Now let's look at the next finding. And we got this, what I call pillars. The 9 pillars of multicultural education reform for Malaysia. Again, coming from the same method. What are the 9 pillars? Hey, where is it? It's not included here. But can you count with me? it's not. It's not put in correct way. So these are the 9 pillars that we can see coming from the cultural, multicultural conflicts and also solutions. Okay. Oh, I have it here, but not here. So the pillar number 1 is intercultural integration. And then number 2, civic and democratic values. Number 3 is family and community education. Number 4, character education. Number 5, religious openness and commitment. Number 6 is mental health support. Number 7, culturally relevant curriculum. Number 8, teacher training. And 9 is lifelong personality development. So these are the 9 pillars. If you want to get the text, these are the 9 pillars. I think Emil forgot to put it in the slides. I did not recheck. I did not check on that. So maybe we can pass this. Maybe put it in a way. So what are the concern among the ethnic groups in Malaysia when it comes to what should be in the multicultural education reform? Yeah. So for the Malays, about tradition versus modern education. So the pillar that we should be concerned of is actually pillar 4 and pillar 7. Yeah. And of course, the other one is egalitarianism and cultural primacy, and pillar 5. So these are the 3 main pillars when it comes to how do you satisfy the needs of the Malay for education reform. And for the Chinese, it's about pillar 2, pillar 8, and pillar 1. So they see this as important, looking at civic democratic values, teacher training, and intercultural integration. And for the Indians, they are more of pillar 3, pillar 6, and pillar 9. Yeah. So again here, the divisions of the 9 pillars within different ethnic groups. Yeah. Now, so what are the policies that can go with this education reform? Policy and society, we're looking at family and community education, civic and democratic values, pedagogy and teachers, intercultural integration, teacher training for diversity, psychology and well-being, culturally relevant curriculum, mental health and well-being, values, lifelong personality development, religious openness with commitment, and personality and character education. All right. Now, so this is recommendation coming from the references of our work. In the multicultural integration, so the recommendation actually coming from the participant to promote intercultural understanding and engagement in schools, universities through shared projects, inter-ethnic dialogues, and curriculum reform. For pillar 2, civic democratic values, integrate lessons on fairness, representation, civic responsibility, reduce ethnic insecurity, and political polarization among youth. Pillar 3, family and community education, strengthen family education programs like parenting workshops, value transmission to address social issues, and support resilience in rural and urban youth. And pillar 4, for families, for values and personality education, embed Islamic personality constructs such as amanah, ibadah, and budi bahasa, and co-curricular of the character building modules. Yeah? So the references are there. If you want more, you can read from the articles there. Religious and openness and critical reflection. Yeah? Encourage religious reflection and openness while maintaining faith commitment to build resilience against extremism and conflict. Again, it's already been mentioned. If you look a long time ago, talking about extremism. I think our citizens, Malaysian citizens, are scared of extremism, extreme ways of life. So they psychological well-being, develop mental health programs to integrate religious values with modern psychological support system, curriculum reform and in psychology and education, incorporate Islamic psychology into teacher training, counseling, and education courses to ensure culturally relevant pedagogy, teacher training for multicultural classroom, equip teachers with conflict resolution skills, intercultural sensitivity, egalitarian classroom practices to manage diversity effectively, and lifelong personality and character education. Use integrative Islamic personality inventory, the one that we have developed, as a tool in schools and universities to assess, develop personality and resilience. Now, so these are the aspect recommendation that I would like to propose based on the analysis of the work done by me and my colleagues. Now, the other thing that I don't put it here because I don't want it to be so formal. I want to propose something that might not be of any interest of others. There are two things actually. When I start looking at the curriculum of different countries, in the beginning for the primary school, actually, the emphasis should be on the 3 R's. It should be strengthen the 3 R's. And of course, because the naluri, the instinct of the Malays is more on the religious matters. I think we have different schools, religious school for those who are interested in religion, and go to the. I would like to propose personally. This is not from the team, not from Datuk Sri, not from Prof. Tengku. This is from myself. I would like to see maybe we can start teaching Islamic education also using Arabic. You know what happened when I retired? I think many of my friends, when they are 60s, only now we want to know the Quranic language. Because we want to understand the Quran. It is too late. We might only have 10 years or 20 years. So my thinking is like we should start teaching Islamic education in Arabic. So our future generation will understand the Quran, things what they are doing, the ibadah. So we can start in stage. We can start with the ibadah first. The ibadah section, do it in Arabic. And then slowly, but hopefully at the end, the whole Islamic education should be taught in Arabic. Or Quranic, you don't want to call Arabic, it's okay. We call Quranic language. Then only we can see our future generation will reflect the Malay instinct. Because now when you're 60, now you want to learn. Sometimes you're motivated, sometimes you're not. You really envy those who can. I really envy my RA, those from the Balkans, who could speak Arabic and understand Arabic. And where they got this? While they're studying here in UIA. And I've been here in UIA since 1990. I still cannot speak Arabic. And these people, they are good, the Balkan students. I think they have this determination. They want to do it. We can do it. So I think the best is actually to start early. Give them the Quranic language, our children. So then we don't have to think like we're going to send to Sekolah Rendah Islam. But the school, the national school should have it. We can do it in in stages, yeah, until the end. Okay, the other thing that I see from this, what I've learned, is to bring harmony, um, to put us back together in harmony. So if they don't want us to go into their system, we go halfway, meaning that because the Malays are very tolerant. This is also finding that I found in the research. We can tolerate. We are very flexible. Allow us to learn Chinese, Mandarin especially. So let have Mandarin also as an elective language in the school. So now when you go around, in a group of Chinese, you don't even understand what's going on. So that is so again, in the US, in the UK, especially in the US, they have elective language. So again, here we see some of these British, they can speak French because they are allowed to take some. I think for us, I think better to understand Mandarin. Yeah, to understand Mandarin. So those are the proposal that I have. Okay, the last one. This is I'm selling to you guys. So you who want to take this up, conceptual framework. This is what I have. If you want to do research, I'm selling you this one. So we're looking at conflict as the mediator. Yeah. And I have also the hypothesis there. Yeah. Conflict as mediator and conflict as moderator. So what we need to do, maybe we can increase the independence variable into not just 2, maybe we can increase. These are actually based on my work. Only looking at 2. We have a lot actually, but 2 alone almost 1 hour, more than 1 hour. So maybe we have to look more. We have to look more. Maybe this can be taken up, especially for FRGS in the section for education, under education FRGS, in the what we have received. Actually, for my part as a panelist, I have not seen anything coming under multicultural education. So I think if you have something from the multicultural education, maybe you might be selected, because the quota will be there. Yeah? So this is important. So please lead, take this up, maybe Dr. Aisha. But we have to create into quantitative work, because basically my work is, what I have done is actually qualitative work. Yeah. So with that, thank you so much. Yeah. I think it's okay, Dr. Siti Rafia. Time, on time. Okay, thank you so much. So I hope I have not bored you, because this is very academic. Very academic. That's why it is called a lecture. That's why it is called a lecture. All right, thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham Ismail. Alhamdulillah, that was a very inspiring and thought-provoking presentation, Prof. Maybe we should have part 2. All right. So now we will proceed with the Q&A session. I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Siti Rafiah Abdul Hamid to accompany Professor Dr. Ahmad Hisham to the center of the stage for the Q&A session. All right. So if you have any questions or you would like to seek further clarification, you can raise your hand and we will pass you the microphone. Okay? And for our online audience, you may type your questions in the chat box. All right?
Thank you very much, Dr. Aisha Karim. And thank you very much, Prof. Ahmad Hisham, Ismail. I would like to welcome you to the sofa next to me before I begin asking questions. Yeah? All right. Looking at the list of questions that I have right before me, I have one from YouTube. And I think I will begin with that one first, and then followed by some questions prepared. And I thought that you want challenging questions, right? Okay. All right. I hope these are truly thought-provoking questions. Eh? Okay, inshallah. So let's take a look at the one from YouTube. It sounds like this.
From YouTube?
Yeah, from YouTube, because we have audience on site. And yeah. Okay, and this particular student asked, I think students or somebody, I don't know, there's no name given here. May I ask, are the instincts and cultural traits of a race, such as the Malays, considered parts of the collective unconscious? I repeat again. May I ask, are the instincts and cultural traits of a race, such as the Malays, considered part of the collective unconscious? And how, so the second part of this question is, how do these elements evolve through the process of modernization? Thank you.
Oh, okay, thank you. Now, instincts actually coming from needs, desire, urges. Huh? These are actually unconscious. It's naluri in Malay. It is naluri. Yeah? So again here, when we talk about instincts, the foundation is unconscious mind. Yeah? So that's why you can see the elements of it, ego and superego is there. Yeah? So to answer the first question, yes, it is from the unconscious mind. But it can goes up to the consciousness. Yeah? Depends on the three things just now. How you express it, how you block it, and how you transform it. So that's how it is being shown, manifest as an individual. But it started at the unconscious mind, the naluri. In Malay, I give it in the meaning of instinct is actually naluri. Yeah, naluri. In Arabic, where is Dr. What the other one? Dr. the head of curriculum. The head of curriculum, Dr. Ikram. And Dr. Ikram mentioned to me is in Arabic is called Wilhan. Walhan. I couldn't find it. Yes. Dr. Ikram, yes. Okay, the second part. Yes, instinct. Yeah, Dr. Yaakob. Oh, Gharij. Gharij. What he told me is Wilhan. Another. Yes. Yeah. Okay. How do you modernize it? You modernize it if you are, for example, if you are in a very culturally excluded, not, not too much of modernity, you're underdeveloped. So yes, it can be moved if we transform it properly. Yeah. And we express it properly. Yes, it is. Meaning that it is relevant with our well-being. It is relevant to our well-being. It's up to you. Yeah, it's up to you. It is up for modernization. Yeah.
So these are supposedly thought-provoking questions, prepared by somebody, I guess, maybe from the team members. This is about conceptual grounding. Yeah. So how do you define psychological conflicts in education, and to what extent are they shaped more by individual attitudes versus overall cultural or institutional factors. Get it?
Okay, that's why I sell that framework. Remember that framework? You can see conflict can be a mediator and it also can be a moderator. Yeah, it can be a mediator and also can be a moderator. So whatever variables that you have in terms of achieving the outcome, the well-being, there is that element in between. And this instinct is not actually passive. Yeah, they're not passive. It depends on who you are. Yeah, in some cases, if you look at the hierarchical demand of development, so it could be in an active as an active agent and or active organism. Yeah? An active organism. So again, yes, I mean, look at my framework. I think I don't have to describe it, but I think that actually being covered earlier in the lecture. Yeah.
Okay, for the next question, it is all about the. All right, maybe I'll reserve this in a while. All right, about the conflicts that you were talking is now. So basically, they are predominantly cognitive. That is the belief system. And then we have the emotional, which relates to the identity and sense of belonging, and also behavioral. That means how people interact in society. So how do you see this as something that is actually conflicting, or this sort of binds well, or maybe these factors bind well in order to bring about harmony, or it give rise to conflict?
Now, this is where I put the parameter there. My parameter is very clear. The one that I'm talking about is one particular theory. It's only the instinctual theory. So I did not discuss, that's why I mean there are quite a lot. They are under cognition, they are under behaviorists, they are under, cognitivist social cognition. So again, no, I don't go into that. I think this question came before my lecture. Yeah, so I stated clearly, mine is only on the instinct, on the naluri, how this will affect your behavior, your emotion, your cognition, yeah, and how this will lead towards civil well-being or well-being. So this is the one that have been discussed. If you want to go into that, there will be another lecture. So it could separate that. I think Lihana also can do as well. Yeah, so maybe on the youth and the adolescents, looking at that, especially on the three dimensions. But mine is different. Mine is looking at that. My worry, in my statement of problem is that I could see that we have so many other things, but actually what inside us actually decide what we want to become, whether we can fit or not into this well-being. We have been inside the naluri telling us, our guts telling us, don't go there because there are so many other races. Don't discuss that because it will be so sensitive. So these are the things. These are the items that we touch in our FGD and also in our questionnaires.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, now I would like to open the floor for more questions. Yeah, you can use the microphone and introduce yourself from which kuliah or maybe one of the departments on campus. Thank you very much.
Testing 1, 2.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Thank you, Prof, for the very interesting and eye-opening lecture. My name is Azha Nazir. I'm from the Kuliah of Education. I'm doing my PhD from DOCI, Alhamdulillah. I'm actually from India.
Can you see? Oh, curriculum.
Yeah. I am originally from India, so I have a very, it's more of a, I would like to take an idea from you. Now, we are a minority in India, so we are a Muslim minority in India, considering we are a minority, but we're still a large population. Now, from where I come from, I'm part of an Muslim educational institution from India. Now, I want to have ideas on how to, without what you suggest as Naluri, right? If I'm pronouncing it right, without giving up on my, primitive instincts of being a Muslim, I want to educate my fellow academicians who are non-Muslims. And under what context do you think I can go? Maybe I can go do a research or a project, because there is a lot of communal tension, especially in the field of education. So I want to know what could be done, since I have the capacity and the backing for it. We want to open up to another race, another group of people to understand what we are thinking in terms of education also. So if you can give me any ideas or suggestions, that'd be really, really helpful.
This is in social psychology. We talk about the in group and the out group. Yeah, so it's okay. You can sit down. Don't worry. Yeah. So I guess we have to be a bit careful here. You might think that what you want is actually wanted by others. Remember, they are the majority, and you are the minority. So the best is actually to work within your minority group first. Yeah, to work within your minority group. So I think then your minority group shared similar instinct or similar naluri. Yeah, I mean, you want the same thing. Yeah? You want Islam to be number one. Yeah, you want everything, education, social, whatever you want within the Islamic parameters. But if you want to offer to other groups, it might be sensitive and also dangerous, because they might not want it. And India, I mean, they are majority Hindus. So again here, to suggest, my suggestion is actually do something for your small group. Yeah. So you're I mean, of course, the population is big, but you are still a minority. Yeah. Then work in the minority group, but within the legal framework of your country. If they say you cannot, then you cannot. That is the effect of the institution and legal issues of the country. All right. So we have also minorities, the Christian minorities. They want to make known of what about Christianity. So we could see sometimes, they talk about certain issues with the Muslim. The Muslims really, I mean, don't really like it, because we are majority Muslim countries. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, is it the same in India? Oh, yeah, no, not. I think that politeness is actually coming from the Islamic teaching. Yeah, Islam. Yeah. Yeah. I see the most polite people on earth that I have accounted is actually the British Muslim. When I was in London, so whenever I went to the mosque, the not the Arab, not the Malaysian, but the British Muslims, they are very polite, very respectful, and really you appreciate their characters. Okay.
Okay, maybe the next question. Right, maybe 2 or 3 more questions from the crowd, from the floor, sorry. Any other questions? Or otherwise, I will ask the questions. Okay, all right.
Yes. Assalamualaikum. My name is Ani Hilman, coming students of counseling and guidance. Can I ask, as you mentioned about the instinctual coming from the citizens, does it going to be the same as we mentioned about the psyche and also something like the psyche, and also the something that same goes talking from the Kayung, the unconscious. If we convert the word of the instinctual instinct towards the psyche, is it going to be the same discussion or not?
Okay, so you're looking at the similarities between theories of naluri.
Yes. I have two. The first one is psyche. The second one is intuition.
Okay. All right. Now you talk about Jung, Carl Jung. Carl Jung is actually still under the Freudian school of thought. Yeah. So he cannot run away. So still talking about the unconsciousness. Yeah, unconsciousness. A psychic is something not really defined clearly, theoretically. Not really defined clearly in theories. Yeah. So when you say the psyche of a Malay, yeah, the psyche of a Malay. So what is the psyche of the Malay? Yeah. So again, people will be talking beyond instinct. They'll be talking beyond instinct. So that the characteristics of psyche of a Malay. So it's not very specific towards naluri. Naluri is specific. Instinct is specific. And then we know the sources of instinct. It's actually from the drives, it's from the urges. Yeah. So again, these are the words coming out from Freudian school of thought. So similar, but clarity is more when we talk about instinct, because there is a theory. But when we talk about psyche, no, it's not that clear. The elements, the characters are, it can be beyond that. It can be beyond that. Yeah, it's not that clear. All right. So when I say the psyche of a Malay, I have to go beyond just instinct. But if I say instinct of the Malay, poop, right away, when I analyze, yes, I got this 7 characters of Malay instincts using the instinct theory of Freud. Yeah. So the 4 thing. Yeah, they will talk about ego, Leitner, or lust, and then eros, and also thanatos. It's actually clearly defined.
How about the intuition? Is that going to be the same, or same goes like the psyche?
Intuition.
Yes.
So, what is can you translate intuition in what is Malay intuition? Ilham.
Yes.
Ilham, intuitive lah. This is intuitive mind. Intuitive mind. This is where we deeper lah. Yeah, we discuss this, Doctor. Yes. More personal. But I'll highlight a bit. Dr. Vira, when we talk about when we talk about last time, this is about intuitive lah. When we talk about we go into ilham, and then after that we found one other thing. This is actually highlighted by Almarhum Hassan Langgulung, laduni, ilmu laduni. So this actually we go into the projection. You go into projection. For example, God will give you some ilham. For example, Prophet Muhammad, he knows what behind the hills in Perang Badar, Uhud. Remember that one? The Uhud, yeah? How many of them, how many of the enemies, and these are all ilham. And this is, and also we talk about Nabi Qidr, when Moses, when this is in one of the surah, so looking for the fish. So and then when found Nabi Qidr, he's given by God ilmu laduni. So this is also part of ilham, intuitive. So you come and join my class. You go into classroom discussion.
Okay, any more questions from the floor? Anyone interested to ask question from the floor?
Okay.
Okay, one more, Dr. Maria.
I guess I don't want to explain myself, but or tell myself. Interesting that you mentioned about the concept of Melayu Baru, which is a specific projection, or I would say a conceptualization of identity, especially as a direct product of Dasar Ekonomi Baru. And would you agree to a certain extent that your instinctive basis, or at least I would want to call it that, is actually an instinctive basis that can be associated with the Melayu Baru as a form of Malayness? And how far, given that I am a distant generation from Melayu Baru conception, which has settled down in many parts of Malaysia, and how do you see this kind of instinctive basis are still present in the current Malayness or being Malay in Malaysia?
I think my work is actually on the Malayness. Doesn't mean whether you come from the Melayu Baru or Melayu Lama or or Reform Malay. No, it's because the study, the work that we have done is, is from 2000 and 2003, and then earlier than that, in my work before joining into this electoral research, is when I came in 1990s. Yeah, so we have done that, but it's all documented. It's not online, so it's not easy to analyze. So it covers that one. The only thing mentioned about Melayu Baru is actually in my thesis. It was published. I got my PhD in 1999. So I mentioned about Melayu Baru. The idea came about when there were clashes in Malay, especially among UMNO members. So again, here there is one sect of UMNO people declare themselves to be the Malay, the new Malay, the Melayu Baru. So again here, but it's still the fundamental of it. The basis of the study of my analysis is about Malayness. It doesn't matter whether you are old, new, or transformed. So they are not there. Okay, is that okay? All right.
Any more questions from the floor?
Datuk Sri, I think I'm waiting for my mentor to ask question.
We can have one. Okay, Datuk Sri, please.
Place. We have so many students who go the normal way, and so many other students who go to asrama and mara and whatnot. Are there differences or not in the instinct, in the development between the Malays who go the normal way and the Malays who go to asrama and mara and whatnot?
I think our research have answered that, Datuk Sri. Yeah, just to share with you, it's the same. It's the same. When you are a Malay, whether you are in asrama or sekolah agama or sekolah biasa, because of your naluri, because of your Malayness, it's still the same. It's still the same. You still want the same thing. But basically, this is from our study. Maybe other studies will say differently. Maybe they will come up with, we have 7. Maybe they will come with 20. So when they go and check again, maybe, but in our study, it's only 7. It's only 7. So, but there is, I mean, I couldn't see so much of the differences between the two. When I look at the paper again, the findings, even if they were like in, because I remember, I mean, one of the papers actually, no, 3 papers actually from the Sekolah Asrama, Sekolah, when I did in my PhD, what I did is actually to compare the elites boarding school, the nine boarding schools, the elites, included College Islam Klang. So again here, they are the same. Even though they are known as College Islam, but when it comes to the Malay element, they're just like Malay. Even you can find sekolah Sekolah Kansa, Malay College Sekolah Kansa, the one that they found a bit more, they have more freedom, liberal ideas. They are similar compared to the KIK. They are the same in terms of the Malayness. In terms of the Malayness, they still want Islam. Yeah. Even students in MSKK, for example, you find them very open. Like my own son, till today, because he was in rugby, I couldn't say anything. He's still wearing rugby shorts. I said, why? So, because he's proud of the MCKK rugby shorts, and then but he's still he's very strong in terms of his Islamic understanding. But short, he said, there are different mazhab telling us, what is aura, what is not aura. So the KIK people, they're very tradition, the aura is, but the MCKK one is okay to cover up to the, yes. All right. Okay, will that answer your question? Okay.
Okay, maybe this is my personal question about this whole thing related to well-being. Ada? Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe we can take that first. Please, brother.
Then your question last.
Yeah, my question will be last because I think he needs to leave for Jumat prayer.
Yeah, I mean, thank you
Yeah.
for Jumat prayer.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you very much. I think your presentation is very insightful. Before that, allow me to introduce myself. I am Willy Ashadi. Currently, I'm a PhD student in political science at IIUM. I have a question, Professor. I have a question. My question is how to manage or how to maintain our mentality or our psychology, our heart, if we have a problem, for example, administration problem or family or financial, and another hand, I need to focus to my education. So my question is how to maintain my maintenance or how to manage that situation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It might not be related to this topic, but it has to do with the mental health, mental well-being. You see me, I survive. you see Datuk Sri, he survived. Prof Tengku survived. We went through the same regime. Yes, for 4 years, 5 years. So steadfast. You will manage yourself. This is what I believe in. Don't listen to others. Don't listen to others, because actually we are just like, something naturally given, alhamdulillah, by God, at a very extreme. Sometimes we have the solution. It will come. It will come. Yeah, it will come. So for example, you think you're depressed, you think you're sick. Don't worry, but open up is the best thing. Go and see counselors. Open up, talk. You need to confide. Yeah, but at the same time, you work. It must be from you. It must come from you. Counselors also cannot do anything if you don't talk about it. Counseling is about listening to your problems, listening to your, what you're doing. I really cannot answer you because this is more of a motivational kind of thing. So I think that's my answer. My answer is that if we can survive, if we could survive, I mean, you can see all of us here, we got our PhD. I think you can survive. But steadfast and, do your things accordingly. Don't get indulged, or don't be overwhelmed with. So that's the thing. Okay.
Any other question? Last questions, maybe? Dr. Wan Suraya, you want to ask a question? Huh? Yes, Dr. Lihana, you have question? Oh, she wants to do it personally. Okay, right. All right. Any other question before I ask the last question? Maybe, inshallah. He's rushing for time. Okay, maybe looking at the current scenario in Malaysia, we have been talking about psychological well-being, psychosocial well-being of students, and also, at the university and also at school. Now, my worry is at the school. So how do you see what is happening now? Because it's a recurring theme to see that there's always death, right? At the end of, like every, maybe a year, 1 or 2 cases. So how do we deal? So who should take charge, and what should be the intervention, perhaps, that can be done to overcome this problem of bullies in school or boarding school especially? So what is more shameful sometimes? To me, it's shameful because we are Muslim, and yet it's happening at religious, right, boarding school. So what could be or what have gone so wrong? So that's my request from you, inshallah.
Uh, Again, this is a topic for another lecture. uh, Now you're talking about we talk about this in our own classes. We talk about the embodiment of human being and looking at the dimensions of human development. We have the dimension elements of an-nafs, al-aql, ar-ruh, al-jism. Yeah. So this and ruhaniyah, ar-ruh. Yeah. So we discussed this in class, but we don't really look in depth how to apply into reality. We go just in theories, and we train our teachers the same thing. And most of our teachers, they memorize, and they can give you good slides of these dimensions of Islamic development, but they don't really know how to apply it. That's why I said, that's why let me re-emphasize on this. Teach Islamic education in Quranic language. We have to do that. So from standard 1, allow them to understand Al-Quran using its own language. Yeah, especially ibadah, that ibadah part. Now we teach in Malay, that's why we have sometimes different ideas, different understanding. And we don't go to the sources. We only go to Ustad AI mentioned this, Ustad this mentioned this. But you yourself, you don't know how to relate it to the Quran. Yeah, you don't know which ayah, which tafsir, because we don't read in Arabic. We are lost. We have been lost for so many years, especially me. I'm 62 now, only thinking about if I wish I could understand Arabic. Yeah. Yeah. Dah tak ada motivation dah pun. I know, I know. If you go into my transcript, I got A in Arabic in US. In US. That is elective. Elective. I got an A. Yeah. But you see, we don't. So again here, it must be from the fundamental. I wish I could show this. This what is a very beautiful diagrams actually created with how you call it, Almarhumah, Dr. Rosmaliza Kamaruddin. We worked together in a project. I think Dr. Borhan knows, so I was looking for that one. I was looking for that diagram that actually I put on the idea, and she came out with a beautiful diagram, a house, drawing a plan of a house. And in the house, you know, the stages of education, starting from the foundation, the fundamentals of the house. So what actually needed, but I lost the report. I couldn't, Dr. Borhan also could not find it. I go with the library, they also couldn't find it. I think if I could share that one, I was really looking for it, because I want to show you what is it actually that we can do from the very beginning. So again, my back to my recommendation, learn Quranic language and make it compulsory, especially for the Muslims, to learn Quranic language in Islam education from the very beginning. So you have the sources, the right sources. Yeah? So you don't refer to Dr. Irfan only. Yes, Dr. Irfan.
First of all, thank you so much for this wonderful lecture. And I really recommend your suggestion to teach Islamic education in Arabic or Quranic Arabic. But we are talking now in the closed room. Even we sometimes write in our research this suggestion, but how to transfer it to the reality? It is need to be followed by some processes to see it in our school, in our Malaysian school, or our at least religious school.
No, all, not religious school only, all.
All. This is very, very significant dream, bro. But how to make it practical?
This is based on the finding, the naluri, our instinct. The first one is religious, is Islam. For the Malays, is Islam. So it should be for all. Should be for all schools, all stages. Then only we can have a good citizen in good citizens' well-being in the future. Now let me share something with you, just to share with you. This is maybe the last one, because at the time I have to go for Juma. Actually, I have to pick up my kids for Juma. If I don't pick them up, they won't go to Juma. So, okay, this last one, I have the experience. So I remember I invited at the time, I was the director of Institute. It's not yet Dean. It's not the Kuliah, not yet the Kuliah. It's called Institute of Education. And Professor Arabi, the rector at the time. So I invited Prof. Almarhum Prof. Tan Sri Dr. Kamal. By the way, just because he's no longer there, so I'm not saying I'm playing cable here. He's my uncle. Okay, just nanti you kata. Yeah, so I invited him. So listen to him about Islamization. So at the end of the session, so we went out. So I walked him, to the bridge. He said, just send me to the bridge because my driver not coming. So he said he just want to walk. So when we walk, and then I said, you know what, Ayama, I call him Ayama. You know what is it that you want? Yeah, I myself, I still don't believe what you are talking about. Who's going to take over when you're not around? And then the first statement that or question maybe he said to me is that, what are you? Not who are you, what are you? That is very strong. So what are you? Not who are you, what are you? I was taken aback. I said, oh my God, I already make him angry. What are you? So I'm supposed to work. I'm supposed to make it a reality because I'm part of this community. I'm part of this, family, the IIUM family. I was really struck by that statement. I was like, oh my God, he was really angry. He was really angry. So he said, you're supposed to be the one to do all the work, to work with others, to make sure that Islamization will be part of the carried on, will be until, until the end of this university. It's a very strong one. So again here, as I said, if we have the will, we can do it. We can do it. But as especially for us, just to lecture, to give lecture, and then telling our students, these are the theories, these are the 5 dimensions, but you cannot relate to reality, then I think you're not doing your work. Especially those who are teaching human development. Liana, mengajar. But if you cannot, interpret it, I mean, it's really a waste of time. Yeah, just talk about the dimensions and that's it. Done. Okay. Dr. Mas nak tanya soalan akhir. I have to leave. Yes.
Maybe a short one? Quick and short. Yeah?
Okay, Prof. Thank you for your inspiring speech. Okay, I think something that I would like to highlight, perhaps this issue is also related to the issue of dualism in education. You know, for example, like what we know, those who are specialized in Arabic language continue to learn and teach Arabic language without relating that to human development, for example, without relating that to human nature from Islamic perspective. And everything, when we talk about human, then when we don't really, and I think that's why, I don't know, but I think that's why reading Almarhum Tan Sri Kamal's work, he's so concerned about our understanding about human being, who we are, like what he said, what are you? Because if you still refer to human as someone that, you know, the dimension or the picture, you know, underlined by from the Western perspective, even they don't really respect or understand that we have soul, like who is human from the from Quran, then we can't do anything unless we all have to look at it and hold on that, and we know that who are we? I mean, from the Islamic perspective, because there are a lot of verses in the Quran that mention about the dimensions about who are human, that related to the psychological well-being and so on and so forth. So perhaps we need to do something for those who are learning, for example, because I also taught a subject, the psychological foundation of Islamic education. Then I realized that when you talk about Islamic education is somewhat separate from the psychological aspect. And then the psychology itself is understood like something which is from the West. So perhaps we got to do something. Thank you.
Thank you for the suggestion. I think it can be included in the later, yeah, in the paper. All right. Okay. I guess. I hope it will be. Yeah.
All right. I think perhaps I'll just need to close. Okay. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, and our respected guests of honor, we are now drawing to the close of today's session. On behalf of the Kuliah of Education and all present here today, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Prof. Nik Ahmad Hisham Ismail for his inspiring and thought-provoking presentation. The insights that you shared with us have given us much to reflect upon, and especially in navigating psychological challenges in education within our diverse and also multicultural society. So a heartfelt thank you, as well as to our audience who have been very active asking questions and sharing. And both on site and also online for your advice, for your active participation, and as well as engaging questions. With that, I pass back the session to Dr. Aisha Hanim. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you so much, Dr. Siti Rafiah. Thank you for moderating the question and answer session. Dr. Siti Rafiah, you can be seated. Prof, remain on stage.
Meja tak faham apa. Dah, cukup.
Alright. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the final segment of the program. Okay, I would like to invite Dr. Siti Khalijah Kasim, the head of department for the Department of Psychology, Educational Psychology and Counselling, accompanied by Dr. Wirawani Kamaruzaman, the program manager, to present a token of appreciation to our distinguished speaker. Okay, please welcome.
Can I say something? I mean, actually, I like this kind of setting. Not so many, but those who are here, they are really involved into the discussion. That's what I used to have in UCL. We have very small, very small professor election, and everybody can engage. Thank you for being interactive and engaging with the speaker. Thank you so much.
Alright, thank you so much, Dr. Siti Khalijah Kasim and also Dr. Wirawani Kamaruzaman. Before we conclude, we would like to have a group photo session. Okay, so I would like to invite all participants, committee members, to move to the center of the hall for a group photo. Okay, Prof. Can you group photo, eh? So center, eh? Center, okay.
Last one, freestyle.